Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and this is how to use Arbok. If you want any more Pokemon impressions out of me, no, that's all you're going to get. Anyway, if we look at Arbok, you know, this Pokemon's not that bad. It has really balanced stats, and if you want to play it as a tanky kind of Pokemon, generally an off-tank that can set up, it actually gets to do a lot of work. That when you're dealing with sweepers, the offensive stats have to be over 100, the speed stat has to be close to over 100. You want to be incredibly fast, and you don't want to have to worry about getting outsped, and you don't want to have to worry about your opponent surviving. That's what makes sweepers really hard to create if they don't have those sweeper stats. Tanks, on the other hand, they are you have a lot more give with tanks. That even if you look at these stats, while they are in that like yellowish kind of green area, they're not the biggest, hardiest stats. Arbok is still actually pretty useful as an off-tank. That 69, 79 defenses, as long as you have a way of using that and you put a lot of investment into the hit points, it can still be a pretty tanky Pokemon. That it's a 2-3 hit KO and it gives you a lot of chances to get going. So that's a nice little thing about tanks, is that they don't demand as much for their stats, and you can generally push a Pokemon into a good tanky vibe if they just have the moves that allow it. But before we look at the moves that allow it, we gotta look at its typing. It's just a straight up poison type Pokemon, and it's actually a good time right here to just look at the poison typing. It's very strong if you look at it. You have two weaknesses, Ground and Psychic. Ground is fairly common, Psychic isn't as common, and a ton of resistances. Fighting Poison, Bug, Grass, and Fairy? Not bad. A lot of neutral hits as well, but that's actually a pretty just balanced Pokemon for that just poison typing. So keep note on that one. And also keep note as we hop on into Pokemon Showdown. There's a lot of actually cool options that you can have with Arbok. I was thinking about just throwing on a Black Sludge, using Coil, which boosts attack and defense, and then just trying to go for Gunk Shot and Fire Fang. Fire Fang is a transfer move, so if you don't have access to that, you can just as well go with Earthquake and have a lot of good options there. And also, a really awesome thing about Arbok is its ability its Intimidate ability. So Coil's going to boost your defense, Intimidate's going to lower their attack on a switch in, and that's why I was thinking you just give it high special defense. Your opponent's offense isn't going to mean much to you because it's getting lowered so much and your defenses are getting boosted. So you're just going to have that nice little tankiness in your special defense. Hope you don't get hit by a super effective move, try to get 1 or 2 coils, and then you have some offensive capabilities going for you. Black Sludge with Protect is just going to give you about 1/8 of your health every 2 turns. And you just try to make with that. You get really tanky defensively, you endure those hits, and then you just go for Gunk Shot and Earthquake KOs. Arbok works like that. Go figure. Pretty cool. So I was thinking that, also want to put the rest of that investment into the hit points. You can also, try to balance out the Pokemon, as I've been trying to do. If you want to make it just a bit more defensive, you can also just cut some of the hit points, cut some of the special defense, and then try to get into around this area. Go to endure more physical attacks. I can see weight in both of that if you can either go with the I'm going to be defensive, so I'm doing everything in special defense, or you try to balance yourself out just a bit more so you can get to that state where you're using Coil effectively, and you're getting more out of your Coil. That you go from 206 to 228, so there's extra 22 points. If you use Coil twice, that becomes an extra 44 points in defense. Could mean a lot, and it definitely starts to offset the 13 points in hit points you're losing. So that's how you want to play around with that. That's why I keep trying to find the more optimal ways of running Pokemon depending on preference. And now we also have I'm kind of choked up right now because this is the idea that makes me happy. Arbok, it's Stockpile. My favorite move. One of the strongest moves in the game. So I was thinking, well, what else can you do but, balance out its defenses. Split those defenses evenly, give it that special defense nature so you're getting the most out of the nature, and try to make it work. Also, you can, since you're using Stockpile, you can, cut down your hit points just a bit, and then put the rest of the points like so. That way you're getting that boost again. And since you do have the Intimidate ability, you can also try to cut it down to where you have more special defense. There's a lot of options here when running Arbok as a tank that you can play into both sides. If you want it as a dedicated special defense tank, you can. You can also make it a defensive tank. You can make it mix. And you have a lot of options here. So the idea is you want to, get a lot of stockpiles going. You get 2 stockpiles, go into that rest, Chesto Resto kicks in, and then you can Toxic Infestation and rest your way to victory. That Toxic Infestation combo, it takes your opponent down very, very fast. That I believe 4 turns and they're over, maybe even 3, that before Infestation wears off, they're down from Toxic in percent health damage, and then you just get to rest it off. So, set up Toxic Infestation, rest, By the time you wake up, Toxic Infestation Rest, and it's a good combo because that Stockpile is giving you a lot of tanky stats. So that's how you can run Arbok. You can either go with the Toxic Infestation stall, very strong, or you can go with the Coil and start becoming a really strong attacker, and you have some good coverage options that Fire Fang on it. If you get that transfer, it's good to go, and that's pretty awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's how you use Arbok, and I hope you all, that's my video editing, and I hope you all, and that's more Arbok in the way. Okay, and I hope you all have a nice day.